All right. Hi, Chrissy. I know you're sort of there, and you had mentioned that maybe some Bozeman agents needed to sit in on this, so hopefully you've got an audience, and if not, you can pass this video along when we send out the recording. But great to see all the Twin Falls folks, all three of you. Heather, you're on here. Haley, you're on here. Okay, whatever. But hope you got a lot out of Tuesday's training with Steve Olson. And Tori, here's my issue, and I know not all of you were here, but here's my issue with those types of trainings is like Steve Olson is one of the world's experts on Facebook ad creation and execution. And so here's how it works. I come and try to do it for an agent, and I'm like 2 hours later, I'm so mad because I can't do it. And, right? It's so
Deb Klaus said to me earlier, she worked the whole evening.
I know.
Like all day yesterday.
I know, Deb.
Evening and couldn't get it.
Yeah, and yesterday Facebook was having some major glitches, so that might have been it. But I want to put something together so it's a little bit easier, so that. But that's an issue, right? Like when we have these experts talk, whether it's about Facebook or even IQO, it's a little easier if you've done it a lot. That's for sure. So anyway. Okay, so global luxury. First of all, what is global luxury? Very simply, Coldwell Banker had the foresight to to create a platform that elevates certain agents who have performed in the luxury space, as well as certain listings that qualify for what we call luxury status. So instead of having the same Coldwell Banker signs all over on every listing, whether it's a little mobile home on Dirt Patch in Dirt Patch, Idaho, or whether it's a estate overlooking the Snake River, instead of having the same sign for both of those, we've got a certain elevated look for listings that qualify as global luxury listings. So that started in April of 2017. Previous to that, and this may or may not ring any bells with you, it was the Coldwell Banker Previews program. And it had sort of a funky sun that to me looked like a sand dollar or a clam, sort of a weird look that preview doesn't really mean anything to most people. So it was what Coldwell Banker thought was a failed attempt at having a luxury platform. Shawnee, I think I'm going to mute you because you're typing. So, okay, thanks. So in April of 2017, so it's only 2 years old, we've got the Coldwell Banker Global Luxury Platform. And I'll show you what all that looks like. So you may have seen it already, but in a little bit, I just want to give a little bit of background. Craig Hogan is the Vice President of Global Luxury for Coldwell Banker, and he is exclusively dedicated to making sure that all the luxury programs work and the platforms are at the very, very best. So that's sort of the big picture. The small picture is, look, if all I sell is $200,000 homes, what do I care about global luxury? And the answer is twofold. One is that knowing that the company you work for has a luxury division should make, just like Steve said the other day, a rising tide carries all boats. It should make you even better because you are luxury by association, if you will. So even if you've never sniffed a luxury listing, you've never sniffed a luxury sale, you still are associated with a company that does luxury business. And Coldwell Banker does more luxury business than any company out there. We do $160 million a day in $1 million sales worldwide. And so it's a pretty fantastic platform. And what I'm hoping to do today is deliver a couple ways for you to talk about the luxury program, even when you're trying to list a $200,000 house in a not fancy neighborhood, okay? Because every seller out there wants to believe that their house has a little bit more going on than maybe it does. And so you can talk about, we have a luxury program, and while this home, hi Linda, is not a luxury home, I'm gonna market it like it's a luxury home, because that's what we do, right? So having this luxury platform, it pulls us all up, is how I see it, okay? So that's one thing. The other thing is that even if you're not a certified agent, and I'll talk about how to get that done, you can still have a luxury listing. If your listing qualifies both from a price point as well as what we call a luxury smell test, even if you're not certified, you can still market that as a luxury listing. So while you, the agent, is not a global luxury certified agent, your listing is, and it can get a different sign. You can use different collateral. You can get a CB3. You can have global luxury all over it. And you know, you're fighting other agents in your market for that listing. You could say, hey, you list with me, and I'm going to put a global luxury sign in your lawn. That's pretty cool. Here's what it looks like. It's black, it's white, it's sophisticated, it's distinguished from all the others. This is a luxury. It says luxury on it. So it's another arrow in your quiver in terms of fighting for those more exclusive listings. Okay, so that's why I think everybody needs to know about global luxury, because it helps you with all of your business, because you're luxury by association, and your listing, or you could bring a buyer to a luxury listing without being a luxury agent, which is really awesome, and you need to know how to leverage those tools. Okay, so that's the nutshell of global luxury. And now we're going to get into some of the specifics about it. It's not going to, as these things go, it's probably going to create more questions than it does answers, but I've got a nuts and bolts global luxury sheet that OMs will have, and most of the questions that you might have will be answered on that. So anything before I jump into some of the stuff that I'm going to share? Any questions about global luxury from a general standpoint? Shawnee's so mad. She's like, I can't believe he muted me on this.
No, I thought I muted myself. I sneezed, so I muted myself, and then I must have unmuted myself.
And when you sneezed, you went sneeze, and then you unmuted.
I did. I had my finger on it, so I'm like, oh, I gotta sneeze. So I muted myself, and then whatever.
But I'd never seen that look after something I said. You were
no,
like,
I was sitting here.
I can
well,
read.
God bless me. I'm okay. Please proceed.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, we're just going to keep on moving on here. And Macy, I'm glad you've got company there, because it's making me stay way above board. So, okay, bear with me for a second. I should have had this queued up, but there was well, our monitor had a basketball game on it, so I got a little distracted, because go UVA, go Hoos. Okay, hold on here. So I'm going to share my screen.
Is there a cost? Is there a cost to the global luxury platform?
Excellent question. So let's go ahead. I'll answer that in due time, David. And I'm just going to open up a couple of things here. Why don't I open up this? And sorry, I know I should have had this done. I'm really sorry. Global luxury specialist. Okay, that'll probably be what I want right now. Okay, so here's pretty much the look of the global luxury side. Now, sometimes the text is black, sometimes it's white. We have all the different logos. Sometimes it's stacked, sometimes it's horizontal. But this is the logo. It has our DBA, our doing business as, which is distinctive properties. But the Coldwell Banker, black and white, and the global luxury, black and white, registered, that's the solid piece. Then we added our DBA to this. So any signs, David, I'm not ignoring your question, let me get there. Any signage, any logo that you use on your ads or collateral has to have all of these things on here. We really need the DBA on there, so it's not just something that floats out there. DBA stands for doing business as, and our DBA is distinctive properties, as you know. Okay, so David's question is, what are the costs associated with being a luxury agent? There's two answers to that. First is you have to have reached a certain production level as an agent, and it doesn't have to have been with Coldwell Banker. If you've just come over to the company from Keller Wilson or whatever, and you have a good sales background, that can qualify. The background is you need to have, within the last 24 months, 3 or more individual sales, either buy side or list side, at or above your market's price threshold. I know that's a lot of talk right there. So basically, here's the short story. David, in order to qualify and get a certification, you have to have had 3 sales in the last 24 months of residential listings at or above 500,000, which is the market, which is the threshold in Twin Falls. Up here in Sun Valley, we're at 915,000. I think Telluride's is 975 or 980. So it depends on the market. Basically, Coldwell Banker takes the overall average sales price and says, okay, top 10% or something like that. So Twin Falls, Grand Junction's at 500,000, Montrose is at 500,000. I think Kimberly is at 199. No, I'm kidding. The whole Twin Falls area is 500,000. And that's residential pieces. We do include land now, so that changes things. But so that's how you have to have that production, David, in order to become certified. But you also have to go through a training, which is offered, for instance, at Gen Blue next week in Las Vegas. Anyone can go through that training. The brandest, newest, nickest, Jacobsest agent can go to that training, even though they have no sales to their name or whatever. And I recommend doing that because it's good training for being an agent no matter what. And then you have 2 years in which to get the production, and then the training will count in your favor. If you go 2 years without hitting those 3 sales, you would have to do the training over. Okay? What's the cost with that, David? The training, the certification course costs about $500 plus whatever expenses to get there and stay for the day or two. But truly, that's the only expense to it, is a $500 course cost. And then you're a global luxury agent once you get the production numbers, and you can use these logos as you see fit. We have agents here in Sun Valley who are global luxury agents. You have 3, I think. You have Justin, Gary, and Bev, or?
Yes.
And so they can call themselves global luxury agents all the time. They don't just have to use that designation with luxury listings. They can use it in all of their promotional materials that they see fit. We do that with a lot of our agents here. And so once you hit that designation, you get to wear a little bit of a different jersey. And Shawnee, man, I always talk myself in circles here, so please jump in and say, no, you got that wrong, ding dong. Oh, that rhymes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have myself muted, Derek.
Let me go ahead and mute you. There we go. Yeah, so the parallel lines, it's these 2 parallel lines, they had a lot in common, but it's too bad because they'll never get to meet. So pie joke number 2. Linda, it's Pi Day, so there's going to be bad math puns scattered throughout this training. Okay, so this is a handbook, so to speak. I'm not going to read it to you verbatim, but this is what all the OMs either already have or will have and can pass out as they see fit, so that all these questions can be answered. But here's basically what I just said about the criteria for getting the certification. The 3 property transactions. Linda, let's say you double-sided something. That only counts as 1. They want 3 discrete, distinct transactions that have happened in that luxury threshold price to count, so that you have the necessary experience, okay? Cost currently is $495. That could go up. Let's see, I did this in February, so if anyone's going to Gen Blue, you need to have signed up for this by now. The next one is in Austin on May 13th. Park City in August. I heard the traffic in Park City is always at a standstill. That's not a math joke, but that's sort of a joke about Park City. And then there's one in New York City, and then there's one in San Francisco. I know, David, you're right. These will change or increase as CB sees fit. You can always come here to CB Exchange and click on this button up here. Actually, what I would do is I would just come here and type in global. I've never spelled global right once. It's a really tough word to type, I promise you. Global luxury training. I come here, I didn't find that, so I truncate it a little bit and get less specific. Okay, and I can come here and I can click on, it's been updated on March 6th, Global Luxury Specialist Training. And there's some boilerplate. Oh, they updated their ad. There's Charlie Young. Shawnee, is that you? Okay, so no updates yet about any of that, but these are the 2019 locations. So you can sit here and listen and sort of feign laughter at my jokes, or you can just sign off, come here, and get what you need within 2 minutes. Doesn't hurt my feelings, but anyway, all of your stuff that you would ever need is here in CB Exchange, okay? Okay, so back to the PDF we were looking at. about the course. And again, you don't have to have the production in your pocket in order to take the course. It used to be the case, but then they opened it up to everybody because they figure the more training you have ahead of time, guess what? The more likely you are to be able to achieve the production because you've got the tools. And now go build the house, right? So I really encourage any of you that have aspirations of being in the business for a while, of potentially landing a couple of $500,000 plus clients, to go get this training so that when you get those numbers, you can they just flip a switch basically, okay? You get trained by Craig Hogan and some of the other best CB agents in the company. Here are the thresholds by area, and you notice the little asterisk up there. This is because if you go to CB Exchange and you use the price threshold lookup tool, they are going to be different than the ones that we use. For instance, my business here is 83340 Ketchum. It's an insanely posh area, and yet the threshold is 500,000. If we had 500,000 as our price threshold, just about every listing would be luxury, and it's not. So we have gone above that. We have 915. We have 950 in Sun Valley because 500,000. It makes you wonder who's crunching the numbers. Maybe it's someone who doesn't have a math degree. But anyway, we have 950 because that's the only thing that makes sense. Twin Falls, you're at 500. 500 is actually the lowest that they offer, which is totally fine. Vail has 2 designations. Telluride you see is 990. It'll probably go up because of all of Eric's sales. Steamboat is 915. Ridgeway, which blows people away if they know Ridgeway, is 900. Montrose Grand Junction, Craig, 500, and Bozeman, 750. I may have said Bozeman was 500 earlier, but it's 750. So that's just a bit of a sample of what the price thresholds are by area. However, that's why there's an asterisk, because we don't use the same numbers. Okay, we use ones that make sense for us. And then this part is crucial. We really want to maintain a high level of luxury. Let's just call it that. We want the listings that we check as luxury to truly be luxury listings. We want them to appeal to a more affluent buyer. For instance, if Linda, and I'm only picking on you because you're center of my screen, if you brought on a listing on 50 acres and sort of a ramshackle little house, but the acreage, put the list price at 650, but it's a 2-bedroom thing with, plastic windows and some squatter's hut. Even though the price threshold is exceeded, it's probably not going to be clicked as global luxury. In other words, it doesn't pass the luxury smell test. We don't want to dilute the luxury brand in any of our markets or for Coldwell Banker in general by just clicking everything. And it bums me out because, like in Denver, for instance, it's the $500,000 price threshold. And so all of those offices, everything that's $500,000 over, they click global luxury. And so you're going through and it's like, they're just houses. They're just houses in a neighborhood that happen to be $512,000. And it's like, it just feels like a dilution of the brand, of the luxury brand. And so we really want to make sure that anything we click, and I'm saying click, I'll explain that in a minute, does qualify as luxury, not just from a price point, but also from who it appeals to. Okay, and if you get a sense that I'm talking like, oh, this is only for the hoity-toity, whatever. This is a price point thing, and there are certain buyers that can access that price point. That's who we're talking about. Okay. An issue comes up. Linda, you bring on something for $512,000. It's a luxury home in the Twin Valley market, in the Twin Falls market. We click it as such. Didn't do anything for 3 months. You got a clause in the contract that says after 3 months, if it hasn't had any showings, we're going to reduce it to what you think is the right price, $475. Right? At that point, we would take it out of the global luxury sphere, and so an agent has to balance, how much they want the listing, and you can promote it as a luxury listing by saying your list price is $512, but if it bumps back down, so that's a delicate conversation. It doesn't happen very often, but we do want to adhere to the limits. Okay, all right. luxury stats. Here's the most recent stuff that just came out. Craig Hogan's video that I sent to a lot of folks, maybe everybody, I can't remember, the other day. $161.8 million in luxury residential sales every day worldwide. Luxury residential, this is weird for Twin Falls, for all of us actually. In Coldwell Banker parlance, that means $1+ million sale price. Okay? So every day in this world, Coldwell Banker agents are involved in $162 million of luxury residential sales at listings selling for $1 million or more. So even though Twin Falls might have 18 listings that are global luxury, if none of them are above $1 million, they don't even get figured into that. Just imagine how much higher that number would be if we took all of the luxury listings we're talking about. But this is a huge number to use, whether you're trying to list a $200,000 home or a $2 million home on the river. Because when they're saying, well, why should I use you? Because, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I belong to a company that does more luxury real estate than any company in the world. And what that means is that when people see your sign in your yard that says Coldwell Banker, they associate luxury with that. Is this a luxury listing? No, it's a great home, but I'm telling you, there's an association that's made. That's why that number is important. In 2017, and they don't have 2018 numbers, 30,000, oh, no, this is 2018, 30,000 transaction sides of $1 million or more with an average sales price of $1.9 million. 30,000 deals were done by agents in a company I'm affiliated with of luxury real estate. Don't you think you should be working with me? Yeah, I thought so. I'll pass on the cookies. Significant CBGL listings, Coldwell Banker Global Luxury Listings, the Beverly House, which is in California, probably in Beverly Hills. Owlwood, who knew? Aspen Ranch, which is in Colorado. These are listings that we hold. Multi-million-dollar. Heck, Tad Haney's listing should be on here. $29 million listing in the Snake River Valley. That's pretty cool. Sales that were made by CB agents. This doesn't necessarily mean our listings, but that our agents were involved in. La Belvedere, Marywood Estate in Virginia, and the Canary Cottage in California. So I don't expect anyone to be able to remember these, but what you need to remember is that we are the industry leader in terms of luxury real estate sales. Does this mean we have a higher average sales price than Sotheby's? No, it means that we do more luxury real estate sales than Sotheby's, though. Now, granted, we have 5 times the number of agents, but that's not the point. The point is we transact more dollar volume of luxury listings than any company in the world. Okay? To me, that's pretty cool to me. Okay. There are listing presentations for global luxury properties. And again, just even though you're not a global luxury agent, it does not preclude you from using any of these. Okay. Tori, I don't know if you have a black box in your office yet, but we will get one, a couple to you. Do you have one?
No.
Okay. Shawnee, tell a math joke. I'm going to run and get one.
I don't have a math joke. Math is not my specialty. I mean, a little bit. I like numbers, but I don't have a pie joke today. Sorry.
I think he just really went to the bathroom.
He's back.
Did you tell a joke?
I didn't.
Hey, oh, here's one I made up this morning. You guys ready? David's about ready to check out, I know. So the kid, the 16-year-old boy, my son, whatever, is in math class, and he raises his hand and he says, "Teacher, at what point do you figure we'll ever use any of this?" And the math teacher just nodded his head and smiled. Because the kid said, "At what point do you figure?" That's a math equation. So anyway, so let's say, Linda, I'm picking on you. David, I don't know the business you do. I know Linda travels in the luxury sphere. You can tell by the way she uses her walk. Ladies, man, no time to talk. So if you had a $750,000 listing or whatever that you were fighting with some Berkshire Hathaway agent, here's the black box. It's a freaking black box. You can take this to your listing appointment, okay? And within the black box, it says here, a new expression of luxury awaits. And within the black box, and you'll do it much more elegantly than this because I am not, I'm more elephant than elegant. It's got this thing that opens up. Butterflies sometimes fly out. No, not really. And it's got a ton of stuff in here that is just like beyond awesome. It's super sophisticated. It's super dialed in. It's modern. And it speaks to that potential seller of yours. It speaks to the luxury side of things and the luxury marketing that you were going to do for that home. Okay. Now, I know that was a horrible presentation of this, but Robert Yazbek, who is our highest producing agent in Steamboat, when he has a listing appointment with a higher end property, he has someone on a bike in the summer or in a car in the winter bring this box to the home, knock on the door ahead of his visit, right? And say, Robert Yazbek wanted to present this to you before his visit and hopes you enjoy taking a look at it. So they get this huge black box. This thing weighs 7 pounds. It's $63 actually to produce, to buy. And so you don't give it to the client necessarily, but he has it special delivered. And so by the time he gets there, they're already like, oh my God, look at this thing. The touch is nice. It's professional. It's beautiful. He's already almost got the deal done. And then you can talk about all the stuff in there. So the marketing materials for luxury are a little bit different, and all offices are or should be equipped with them. And so Tori will get you a few of these so that you can have them at the ready. They are sort of on a checkout basis. Again, at $65 a pop, you don't want to just be like, hey, here's one for you, and hey, give one to your uncle too, or anything like that. Okay. We have Homes and Estates magazines. Whether we'll do those in the future as a company, we're not 100% sure. So this is just a lot of stuff. I don't want to get into it, other than the fact that the marketing materials are a little bit different. Which brings up, Shawnee is sitting here, and I need to make sure that I'm very, very clear about the following, which is that, and this becomes a timing issue, folks, but in order to have your marketing materials that Shawnee and the marketing department generate, in order for them to be global luxury, whether you're a global luxury agent or not, you have to purchase a CB3. Only a CB3 puts you into the global luxury club. Okay? Only a CB3 allows you to use global luxury collateral like this. And so the materials are a little bit different. They use the global luxury logo. This is by the Von Clark Group in Grand Junction. But it's just a step up. Obviously, you're paying more. You get the Matterport, you get some other Twilight photos. And so that's how you get the global luxury logos and branding on your marketing packages. If you have $1 million listing and you buy a CB2, it's going to get Coldwell Banker Distinctive Properties marketing, which, don't get me wrong, is awesome. But you can't call marketing and say, hey, can you just slap the logo, the global luxury logo on there? Because they go, it's like in the Indiana Jones movie, like they're going through the mountain in the carts, and CB1 and 2 track go this way, and there's no global luxury logos in that part of the mountain. CB3 goes this way, and that's where the global luxury logos are. So if you choose a 1 or 2, you can't get the stuff that's over here. That's all I'm saying. Well, why do I have to spend so much? Because you're going to be making a lot more, and because this listing is important, and because your commission is higher, and you're representing a more affluent listing, you're speaking to more affluent buyers, it's going to come back to you in spades. And here's the other beautiful thing. Once you get these things done, because you've ordered a CB3, you're obviously not going to, you want to save some, and for the rest of your life as a real estate agent, you can show, oh, and by the way, this is some of my luxury collateral that I use. Ooh, aren't you special? Maybe you should be sitting on a lazy boy and not the plastic chair, right? So, like, this stuff lasts and lasts. Shelby, this stuff is worth so much. And for what's the Twin Falls CB3 rate? Do you know, Shawnee?
What is it? It's $9.99
for Twin Falls.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so $1,000 to do your marketing. I guarantee you, if you got the pro photos and tried to do some of the collateral and got a Matterport, you're already in the $1,500 to $2,000 range, no matter your market. Okay, so trust us. it was said in our roadshow the other day, the correlation between people who use the CB packages and people who crush it is virtually 1-to-1. Chicken or the egg? Do they crush it because they use the CB packages, or do they use the CB packages because it doesn't matter to me? All I know is that the correlation is really, really high. And never once would I have to apologize as an agent to my customer for the marketing if I get a CB 1, 2, or 3. Okay. Now, today we're talking about CB3s, but I'm telling you, CB 1s, 2s, and 3s get the job done. They are the best thing, and I've said this since the day I got here. They are the best deal in all of real estate, the best thing I've ever seen. My agents can get I'm sorry, I'm off track. My agents can get a CB1 with all the photos, with all the postcards, with all the flyers, with all the Facebook, with all the stuff for less money than they could to just call the photographer and say, hey, can you go shoot 20 photos for me? Such a no-brainer. And it just looks good. And your seller's like, oh my God, look at this stuff. And when do sellers talk about their property? When do sellers talk about their agent and their listing? When it goes onto the market, when you're in that honeymoon stage of like, and they're like, look what my agent did. God, can you believe this? Because they got all this stuff. So that's how you get more listings, by using the CB packages. Okay, wow. Where did all that come from, Shawnee? I had a Cliff Bar earlier. Maybe that got to me. There had chia seeds in it, so I'm all like, ah. Okay, I already said you need a CB3 in order to get the marketing materials. However, and Shawnee, don't get mad at me for saying this. However, let's say that you ordered a CB2 because you thought it was going to be under 500, but you ended up over 500,000, and so now it's a global luxury listing, and I've marked it as such on the website, and it's going to feed on the global luxury website. We'll get to that. But you didn't do the marketing package. Okay, you're going to get the CBDP marketing materials. They still look great. They're still pro. They're still got that gift of Shawnee sunshine on them. Anything else you do, though, from putting the sign in the yard to an ad to some sort of a Facebook post, you can apply the global luxury logo to the stuff that you do on your own. Obviously, we want quality control. Don't take that and say, oh, I have a $275,000 listing and it's really pretty, so I'm going to go ahead and stick global. No, we're talking about things that qualify and have been clicked by the global luxury specialist in the company. You can use the global luxury logos for that in your own marketing materials. Okay? So that's and you can use the sign. We have global luxury signs. Tori, I'm not sure if you guys have arrived yet. We'll have to make sure that all these things are dialed in. But Teresa orders those signs. And you can get, if you're a global luxury agent, so Justin, Gary, and Beverly can get personalized global luxury signs with their name on it. If you aren't a global luxury agent, but David, you bring on a listing for $600,000, that's good. You can put it's got the office name on it, the DBA, and then you can put a rider on it. So you get a little bit of both worlds. Okay. Okay. How does a listing get checked? I've said it now 14 times. How does it get clicked or checked as global luxury? Every day I start my day with a punch to the face, and then I go into IQO. That's not true. I do it in reverse order. I go into IQO and I look at the company's listings. I'm one of those really special people that gets access to everything. And I order them by date so that I see the very brandest and newest first. And I just look at them all. And I know all the threshold price points because I've been doing this a while. And so anything that hits that price point or above in the market that just came on, I go into that listing and I look at the photos. Okay, and if the photos are what I would assume would appeal to a luxury buyer in that market, luxury buyer in Twin Falls is different than a luxury buyer in Sun Valley, I get that. I will go ahead and click the little global luxury button in there. You don't need to know where it is or anything. And within 24 to 48 business hours, 2 business days, the Coldwell Banker Global Luxury site, coldwellbankerluxury.com, will pick up that feed, and your listing will then be featured on the global luxury site, which is a huge boon to sellers. So anytime, sorry I'm talking so much, anytime I click a listing as global luxury Within 5 minutes, the following thing happens. I have an email prepared that I send to the agent, anyone on that agent's team, your OM, Tori, your MD, Gary, and Shawnee in marketing. So up to 5 or 6 or 7 people, if it's a bigger team, get an email from me saying, I have just clicked such and such listing as global luxury. Here's the things you need to know. Good luck, all of that. It tells you when to go check the Coldwell Banker Luxury site. It tells you to, once it's live there, to grab that link, send it to your seller and say, hey, here's your home on a website with the most luxurious properties in the world. So it spells all of that out for you. And the reason I include Shawnee and your MD and your OM is because I want everybody that's associated with you to be like, dude, David, nice job, buddy. Because maybe you didn't say anything to anyone. But I want Tori to know that there's a global luxury listing in the house. And I want Shawnee to know, even if you didn't order a CB3, I want her to know that, well, what's going on. Not that she doesn't pay attention. I just think it's important for her to know that there's a luxury listing that just entered our marketing world, so to speak, even if you didn't order a CB3. Okay? Okay. So, trying to think what else. This one, number 5 here. One of the benefits of being a global luxury agent is the back-end connection. So this doesn't apply to anyone on the call, I don't think, but once you get that designation as a global luxury agent, you get to come here, Global Luxury Connect and Showcase, and they teach all of this to you in the certification course. But you get to come here and you can connect with the other 8,000 global luxury agents in the Coldwell Banker network. It's called Proxio and Proxio Connect. You can send your luxury listing in a PDF or a brochure or whatever to agents in your feeder market, if you'd like. You can create a profile that asks other people to like you. It's a little bit like a Coldwell Banker Global Luxury Facebook. And so, Linda, if you go to a conference and you meet all these other luxury agents, you connect with them here, and anytime you do something, you can just hit all those people, and they're like, God dang, Linda in Twin Falls. I don't know if I have a Twin Falls buyer, but that looks pretty cool. I'll be thinking about that. So there's all these ways to build my network. You can search for properties. You can build your referral bank here of luxury agents all over the world. How-to videos, like you could go in here and watch a video about how to pretend that you're paying attention to your director of education when really you're playing Save the Pandas. Like, there's a lot of stuff you can do here. So it's not Save the Pandas. What's it called? It's called Save Gary. Okay. Okay. So what have I skipped? I've talked a whole lot and haven't shown you a ton, and I'm sorry. I'm going to go to the Coldwell Banker Luxury site, so just so you can see that. I've got it bookmarked on my page. I hope you're using bookmarks. God, I hope you're using bookmarks. You see how I have everything that I would ever need right here? I'm just one click away, Global Luxury. So ColdwellBankerLuxury.com. So my house is featured today, which is really cool. And so I'm a little bummed that they put it in a slideshow. This is a Bellevue, Washington home. So it's got a slideshow. It changes every week or so, but the best and most beautiful photography, high-res, rich imagery gets put here with the price as well as the location. You can directly view this property, but any listing that gets clicked Global Luxury, and unless there's some weird bug that Global Luxury says, oh, we're not going to take that, your listing will be featured here within a couple of days once it is clicked. So if you're Gary, and Gary, I don't want to test this quite yet because I didn't do a follow-up, so I don't want to see if you're on here yet, but you know, Justin should be on here. We have about a dozen Sun Valley agents. You can learn about the history of Coldwell Banker Luxury, the luxury blog, which is different than the Blue Matter blog. You don't have to be a luxury agent to use this. If you want to start appealing to more luxury buyers, come in here, grab this blog, post it on your Facebook, and all of a sudden you're speaking luxury instead of, hey, look at the crab feed that they had in Baltimore. I don't know why I always pick on Baltimore with my blog thing, but I always do. Anyway, there's luxury blogs on here. They're more about like bath salts and things like that. You can search by lifestyles. So when you click on this, you can search waterfront and coastal. So this is a consumer-based website. You get that, right? This isn't what you would do as an agent if you want to find property. You certainly could, but this is for the consumer. So they want to find a property. I'm going to just use Sun Valley as an example. Haley, Idaho. So these are Coldwell Banker listings only. This is not pulling from an IDX feed in the MLSs where every single listing that's over whatever price threshold gets listed, okay? This is Coldwell Banker, and I think there's something cool about that because it's like family almost, you know, like it's not everything, it's just us, okay? So these are some of our higher end listings in Haley. Sun Valley's weird because we've got like 4 cities here that all make up Sun Valley, so sometimes not everything populates. I can go to Sun Valley and I get a different read. This is Rick's, this is, you know, these are all of our agents' listings. And so what I'm saying is, you come in here after a couple of days of me clicking your listing as Global Luxury, and you can come and click on this. It has its own standalone website. I don't know if you can see it because mine's gotten obscured. ColdwellBankerLuxury.com property, and then it's got the address. This is that website. Seriously, if I have this website and I can send this to my seller, that's a big deal, in my opinion. Most companies don't even offer standalone websites for a property, which we do to every listing we have, by the way. But this is a Global Luxury one. Okay? I think that's pretty cool. So I'm going backwards through the roll, but if you go down, it's got, so it has big photography. There's the home and the golf course. It's got the agents that are represented. These are both Global Luxury. It's got all the stuff, schedule a tour. It's got some nice graphics. Let's see. What else? Some facts, tags. It's a golf listing, shows where it is. So it's just meant to be a clean, really big presentation of the listing. And I think that it makes a really nice statement. Again, think of it this way, folks. I said this at the outset, but it bears repeating. Instead of being in a website where every listing an office has, from the $8, you know, hunk of toilet that someone wants to put on the market to the $2 million, the $29 million that TAD has, there's a special platform for these. These still show up on the Coldwell Banker Distinctive Properties website, sure, but they also have an elevated place where they get to play, okay? All right, so there's lots of ways to search here. You can find specialists. If you, Linda, sorry, you know, let's say that you have a luxury buyer in Twin Falls who's moving to Arizona, and you want to hook them up with a Coldwell Banker Global Luxury, you come in here and you find a specialist in, you know, Scottsdale. And this is a good way to sort of separate the cherries from the pie. Find a name that you can pronounce. And go about it this way. So basically, I'm just trying to show you that even if you're not a Global Luxury agent, you can still get a lot out of the Global Luxury site, and you can still get a lot out of this platform. By God, use it, exploit it as a listing agent, even when you're just doing a basic listing that you know you're going to get. Okay? There's luxury by association. LBA is what I've never said before, but I like to say that now. So, and then mail your face off. Just mail your face off. Shawnee, Steve said that in our thing. He said, mail your face off. God, man, I can't. I even hashtagged an Instagram post I put on for our office. I said, hashtag mail your face off. So there weren't any other ones that it was hashtagged to, but that's okay. You got to start somewhere. That's what my mom and dad said when they made me. So anyway, that's Global Luxury in more than a nutshell. That's the mixed bowl. That's the mixed nuts bowl that I just gave you. But I hope that's a good start in terms of what the Global Luxury platform is. Let me repeat, and Gary, I hope you can say this with, you know, aplomb and vigor in your sales meeting. Every listing we have should be marketed as if it's a luxury listing, right? And so agents in my office, we're always talking about, don't just use the CV packages for better listings. Use them for everything, Because even if you market the dog that you didn't even want to take, but your brother's sister's cousin asked you to, market it the right way, and you make a statement in your own MLS about your professionalism. You make a statement about the company, that your company cares about every single freaking listing out there, enough to spend $229 on a CB package to make this dog get ready for the show. Like, that's just got to be part of it. So
Well, Derek, to be honest with you, the big thing that I see is that, like you're saying, that creates a consistency amongst whether you're a new agent or an experienced agent. You go out for that listing appointment, you bust out that CB1 package, and you're saying, hey, this is what I can do for you. Here's the value. You don't have to tell them how much it's costing you. But the advantage that all of us agents have now with these packages is we have something that nobody else is doing out there. Everybody else can say, hey, I'm doing professional photos, or I'm doing just listed and just sold cards. But do they have those 8 to 10 things just on the CB1? No, they don't. And if they're saying they're doing it, they're full of shit, because there's not enough time, unless they've got a team of 4 or 5 people working behind the scenes. It's not happening. I can tell you from experience, Beverly and I sell more real estate than anybody else in the Valley. That shit doesn't get done without the help of packages.
Totally. And so there's no better way. Like, if Nick Jacobs was on this call, and I'm not picking on him, I really like him. I think he's got a bright future, but he needs to get going. One way to get going is to spend the money on a CB package. And as I said earlier, then you've got this like catalog of good stuff that you can show everyone else. And you don't have to just say, oh yeah, here's the photos I took with my iPhone because I didn't want to spend the $250. And I made this postcard. Well, yeah, it's just on office paper, but no, dude, get it done, and then you're a professional. Gary, great point. So, okay, global luxury. So signs and these black boxes will be coming your way. Gary, you probably got these at your training, right, in Seattle?
We actually took, Justin was with us, and those of you who know Justin, he is not afraid to be thrifty. So we ended up, I think we came back with 8 of them, even though we were only supposed to come back with 3. So we're pretty pumped about that. They're not cheap. They're glamorous.
No, they're not. Yeah, they're over $60. So, but we've outfitted every office with 3 or 4, I think. Again, Tori, you would be well, you guys can figure it out.
Oh, in that case, we didn't get any. Can you send those 3 or 4?
Yeah. Exactly. And then signs, I think we outfitted every office with 5 signs, not all to be used by one agent on one listing. But you
didn't get those either.
Well, that's because you should be getting customized signs but we have generic office ones so that when David gets a $525,000 listing, he can go use that. So
I'm just giving you crap.
Yeah. So that's global luxury. Shawnee, what did I miss?
I think you covered a lot of it. I think that just maybe knowing where to find that information, Derek, if an IQ office or, like you said, CB Exchange, because a lot of the stuff that you put together does live in IQ office too. So just knowing where we can find it and what we can do to reference it.
I'll make sure all the OMs have that, and I'm making some videos right now. Maybe that'll be one of them. Here's all the global luxury stuff. Here's one. Hey, dear Algebra, please stop asking us to find your ex. She's never coming back. Don't ask why.
That's good.
Never discuss infinity with a math. You'll never hear the end of it.
Oh, geez.
All right. Okay. So that's that. Tori, Shawnee, and I had hoped that we could get some Q&A done, which stands, I think, for questions and answers. It probably means something else in twin, so I better watch myself. But we didn't get any questions sent to us before 10 in the morning. We had only asked that so that we could make sure we either knew the answers or could find really good jokes to, okay, can I get a date with Shawnee for computer help? What sort of help do you need, David?
That's kind of a long one. I have a lot of questions.
Is it about just computers in general, or what kind of?
Just getting hooked up properly with the Facebook, CB Exchange, all kinds of stuff.
So as part of the onboarding,
is she the one that's supposed to get a schedule and get hooked up and do some one-on-one help, or no? Is that you?
it's kind of a collection of people. So I help out with like the marketing. I'll put you in contact with, I'll help you with the marketing stuff, and then with our relocation and referral. But if it's CB Exchange or getting into IQ Office, Tori and Margaret would be your help for that.
Okay.
So Margaret typically sends an email that has all of your CB Exchange login stuff as well as your IQO login stuff in different emails so that they live discreetly. But yeah, you know, it's important. Like, one of the struggles with our company, and you've all felt this in the 6 weeks, is like there's so much stuff.
Yeah,
right?
a lot.
There's so much stuff, and so to keep it all separate and to know where to get it and what each tool is for. That's why, like, when I talked about CB Exchange a little bit ago, it's a shopping mall for Coldwell Banker stuff. That's all it is. And it's got some boutique stores about Coldwell Banker stuff. You're going to use CB Exchange about 10% of the time you use IQO, because IQO is all CBDP stuff. It's your office. CB Exchange is a mall where you can get CB products. Doesn't mean don't learn it. It just means that's one way that I've always kept them different is IQO, O stands for office, CB Exchange, it's a shopping mall. Okay, that's why it's a 90-10 relationship for me. But if, David, if you're feeling like you're not being attended to, not from we're ignoring you, but you just don't feel like you've gotten the access or the emails or whatever, please email Margaret. Well, you can email me and I'll pass it on to Margaret and make sure you're in touch, because we want everyone to at least know where to start getting their tools for sure.
How to hook up.
Or come to me.
Yeah, Tori has all that information.
Thanks, Tori.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, what else? Deb, you had sent a bit of a frustrated email this morning, and I've not responded yet because Facebook and Instagram, I don't know what happened yesterday, but they had a worldwide glitch. And so everything that we were trying to do on Facebook took a dive. And I'm going to get back into it today. Doing the ads, as I said earlier, I don't know if you're on the call at that point, Deb, doing those ads is not as simple as Steve Olson, who is a freaking genius, makes it look. And so we just need to make sure that our tolerance, our frustration tolerance is a little higher when we don't have the expert in the room. So I'm trying to do a couple on my own just so I can get some fluency, and then I'll probably put together a one sheet on 3 pages. Just say, here's bam, 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 bam. This is how you do it. And hopefully that can solve some of those frustrations. So I'm sorry about that.
Thank you.
So the best person for help, as with Facebook, would be Derek?
Kind of, sort of. I mean, I'm sort of the help desk, and then I'll farm it out to wherever. Facebook, like Kingston Lane is not my platform. That's Kingston Lane help is Kingston Lane. Facebook help, shoot, half the time I'm in Facebook, I'm like, I need help, right? But, you know, there are levels of knowledge. So yes, you can ask me those things. And I'll either refer you to a training, like we have trainings on how to build your Facebook business page. I don't yet have that training, and I've asked Steve to send me the video about how to make that ad. Because even he was, if you remember, he was like dinging around and like, oh wait, where'd that go? And you know, Facebook is a master, David, at having something work one way one day, and then the next day it's different. They do that to keep you online. I am convinced. Like, the more you have to engage in their stuff, the happier they are. So
I worked on the Facebook stuff for a couple hours the other day, and I got some headway, but
yeah, you also got pissed off too, I'm sure, because I sure did.
well, a little bit aggravating.
Yeah, I had one agent immediately after the presentation come in. She went and did a video. She's never done a video on her own before. She wanted to get it on her computer. She wanted to get it uploaded to Facebook. She wanted to do the 3 ads. She wanted to get it on Kingston Lane within a 45-minute period. And I swear to God, I felt like I was having triplets. You know what I mean? And I don't even know. I've never even had a baby, but it just felt like you can't just do this. Even though Steve Olson, genius, is like, bip, 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 bip. There's one. It's not that simple.
Yeah, well.
I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying don't expect, like, there's a curve. There's a curve to this. Yeah.
Hey, Derek, I got a question for you.
Yes, Tori.
Up at the top, it's showing you muted and no video. How is that?
We were experimenting in our conference room, and the reception there has been horrible. So I'm in an office, but I didn't turn that off because I didn't want to turn this off too, because Zoom's a little bit like Facebook sometimes.
Gotcha.
Push that button, and that happened. Ha ha ha. What other questions? Here's one. Are monsters good at math? No, unless you count Dracula. Anything else? We don't have to go on much longer. It's already been.
Well, people are dropping off like flies with your jokes, Derek.
You know it.
Ta-ta, Tim McGraw.
Yes, there we go. Hey, here's looking at Euclid. Euclid. He's a mathematician. Okay. All right. Thanks so much. And Tori, I'm assuming this recorded. I'll get this to you and Chrissy as well, even though she hasn't made a peep about how valuable this has been. But I will get this to the OMs, and we will just keep soldiering on. Yes?
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
Fan club tomorrow, by the way, we're going to go over the listing presentation and all the pieces in it and how to talk about it. So it's going to be a little bit like a cheat sheet for the listing presentation, which we all have. Tori, I don't mean to speak out of turn here. You have all the pages and
For listing presentation? I think so.
okay, great. Maybe we should talk offline, make sure, because I don't want to introduce something that is not ready to be introduced yet. But so thanks, David, for your questions. Linda, always had a pleasure having you on. Heather, it wasn't your fault. It was Tori's. And Deb, good luck with Facebook. We'll keep plugging away at it, okay?
Tomorrow,
Bye,
what time? Tomorrow, what time? Tomorrow, what time?
11 o'clock.
Okay.
All right, bye, Shawnee.
Bye, Dee.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.